All right, let's go ahead and get started. Well, welcome, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful October. We're getting a little bit closer to the end of it here, and I hope it's been going well for you. My name is Michael Skelton. This is my podcast, Called to Serve. Thank you again for tuning in. By the way, speaking of October and near the end of it, we know we got Halloween coming up and then all the other holidays coming up. But I'm curious. I want to hear from you guys. What do you do for Halloween? Are you a family? Do y'all go trick or treating around your neighborhood? Do you go to another neighborhood? Maybe there's another one that you like to go to. I've heard that's a thing. Do you go to your church? A lot of churches have fall festivals, chili suppers, different kind of suppers like that as a Halloween alternative. Do you do that with your family? Go ahead and let me know. Drop me a line. My email is michael@calledtoserve.us. Again, that's michael@calledtoserve.us. By the way, my name is spelled Michael. Just so you know, that's the email. I know there's a rare alternative spellings to it, but that's mine. It's AEL. So drop me a line there. You can also text or call me at my new number. That's the Called to Serve number. That number is 762-250-6308. Again, that's 762-250-6308. You can text, you can call and leave a voicemail, but I can tell you this, I won't be answering it. It's purely just for messaging and voicemails. So please let me know what you do for Halloween, what you and your family do. Okay, so anyway, on to what we're going to be talking about today. I know I told y'all about on the last podcast that I really desire to have co-hosts on with me, guest hosts that come on. Some may just do it once or have recurring co-hosts, but either way, I really desire to have dialogue with people and let others listen in, let you, the listeners, hear us. I won't be having that today again, but I am getting that lined up. So it is still in the works. It's just trying to make schedules work so that we can get together and have get the recording session going. I'm sure all of you can relate between if you're married, you've got stuff you need to do with your marriage. If you got kids, that spreads you thin, especially the more kids you have, they start pulling you 100 different directions, it seems like, and that's not even to mention work. So that makes it a little bit more of a challenge, but I am working it out, trying to get some speakers on here, and I can't wait to have that happen. But in the meantime, I've just got a topic that I really wanted to talk with y'all about, and I didn't want to wait until I got a guest host to come on. And that topic is, and I'm going to go ahead and just say all of the different names and slogans that people are throwing out there, but the topic is fake news, however you want to call it. It's fake news, false news. There's a million different things. It's funny because there's those who just absolutely lie to your face and then will complain about false reporting or fake news or whatever you want to call it. And it's right now, that is one of the most used terms out there, it seems like. And I'm getting tired of hearing it, and I'm getting tired of hearing the fake news itself. But there's one thing that really comforts me is that it is easy to see through. It truly is, people. And it seems you look at the world around you and you listen to people who are honestly willfully ignorant, and you think that it must be some hard magical thing that you have to do, but it's not. It takes a little bit of effort, but the truth is it's not that hard to cut through all the BS and to cut through the lies that people are saying and to get at least to a little bit of the truth and get some facts of your own. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So first off, what I want to do is I would like to I'm going to go down a list here of news articles that have come out either in TV and other podcasts and the print, whatever it is, that have proven themselves to be false. And it's not a comprehensive list by any means. We'd be here forever if I did that. But I just wanted to come up with some examples, talk to you about them, and then we're going to talk about some very simple things that you can do, and again, with minimal effort, to actually be able to get through the weeds on this and just come up with some real information that is sound and that actually makes sense. So let's get started here. Okay, in no particular order here, I'm just going to get going. Let's see. If you remember, some of these will be from a while back, but some of them, I'll have a few that are more recent that you can easily relate to. But you remember the media put out whenever Donald Trump won his first and only win, the media put out a whole bunch of claims talking about the Russia bots and even Vladimir Putin himself that stole the election through either disinformation again, go figure, it's funny, the ones who are actually putting out the disinformation are the ones that are calling other people on their disinformation. So the Russians stole the election from Hillary. Well, come to find out, she just was uninspiring, and people didn't get to the polls because she couldn't even fill up an audience of 10 people sometimes. So that's one. Let's see, the Duke rape story. I don't know if y'all remember that one. It was back in 2005, 2006, and it was 3 lacrosse players from Duke who were accused of gang raping this black girl. She accused them. She came out and she accused them of rape, and everybody in the world, it seemed like, condemned them. And then come to find out, it was actually proven and uncontested. Even the ones who jumped on the bandwagon of accusing these guys of rape, even they did not contest it once the truth finally came out. The crazy thing is that their lives were completely ruined. Now, I can almost hear some people out there saying, well, they're rich, well-to-do families. Who cares? They probably had it coming. I don't care what background you come from. I don't care if you're affluent. I don't care if you're poor, if you're middle class. I don't care what your race is. If you're accused of rape, it's going to ruin your life. Now, if you did it, you deserve it. That's fine. I don't care. More power to the ones who are going to burn you. But whenever it's false, and not only false, but it is blatantly false. It was an absolute fabricated lie, and the media jumps in on it. You totally are ruining someone's life, and no one deserves to be falsely accused of a crime that is just that absolutely terrible. So anyway, moving on. I'm going to comment on some of these just a little bit, but I'll try to keep it quick. Speaking of the Duke rape story, of course, that had everything about race because the girl was black. She was not affluent. And so, again, people just piled right on that. Dare I say it, if the races had been reversed, we may or may not have heard nearly as much about it, but we'll never know. And certainly nobody's going to admit to that either. By the way, on this one, this is important. This is actually very important. It's verifiable. I encourage you to check this out. Jesse Jackson, even after it came out that this girl completely lied about it, he wanted to give her he wanted to basically pay for her college. And that's fine. Good. Paying someone that wants to help somebody out, that's great. But he wanted to do it in the context of this whole news story. And he actually said that the fact that she lied about this is irrelevant to her deserving it. And this, again, it was after it came out that she lied. And he said, well, that doesn't matter. She just deserves to have this. But while we're talking about race, let's go ahead and talk about BLM. BLM that could be its own podcast in and of itself, because virtually everything they have ever laid their hands on has been a lie, a fabrication. It's been a complete disaster, at least if you're looking at it from the point of wanting to know the truth and wanting to serve the society better. They act, and they're purported to care about race relations, and specifically just for black people. They've said that they don't care about the other races. They just care about black people, and which is kind of crazy that they can come right out and say that. Why would anybody say that they only care about one race or another? I thought we were done with that decades ago. That's the backwoods hillbilly talk. Only now it's coming from backwards minds of some other people. But anyway, we have Black Lives Matter. Let's talk about a few things they've gotten. Some of the stuff that really brought them, or that they stood upon these lies to make themselves nationally and internationally prominent. So you got Trayvon Martin. That was one that turned out to be. That wasn't an outright lie. The basic events of what happened, the Zimmerman, the kid that shot Trayvon Martin, yes, he shot him, but the lies came in that they said that this was a white kid that was going and looking for black kids to hurt him, or at least he saw Trayvon and was suspicious of him because he's a black person. That came out to be a complete and utter ridiculous lie, and it was aided and abetted by the news agency. CBS got caught editing the 911 call to make it sound like he was targeting Zimmerman, was targeting Trayvon Martin because he was black. And the crazy thing is why they would do that, knowing that other people have access to the full 911 tape and will come right back behind him and say that's not what he said, and not in the context that he said. So all of their creative editing just made them look stupider, except in the eyes of those who aren't going to put in a whole lot of effort to try to get to the bottom of it. But anyway, you got Trayvon Martin. It was an unfortunate thing. He was a teenager. He got shot by Zimmerman, and who, by the way, this is another reason that the media jumped on, is because they thought he was a white kid. Guess what? He's not. He's Hispanic. On the flip side, I do want to say Zimmerman became somewhat of a celebrity among some conservatives. I won't say all, and thank goodness not, because that ended up being stupid too. Just because the media or anybody makes a complete fool of themselves over something doesn't mean you take the subject that they wronged and turn them into an automatic hero. They still might be guilty of other things. They still might be not a great person. But see, that's not the point. The point is to not be lying about these things and take things out of context, all because you have an agenda of race in this case. So other BLM things. The Cambridge professor. I don't know if you remember this one. There's a professor up in Massachusetts. He locked himself out of his home. He forgot his keys or left them at the office. It was something like that. And this has been long ago enough that there's minor details I can't remember, but you can go back and look and get as many details as you want. And also, I encourage you just to check me on this if you don't already know these things. This professor was breaking into his home. A police officer, squad car drove by, sees a guy breaking into a home, and what do you expect a police officer to do if they see somebody trying to crawl through a window, open a window in a home? They're going to stop and check it out. Well, guess what? Professor's black, so now all of a sudden it's going to become about race. It's going to become a race thing to the media. It definitely became a race thing to the professor, because whenever they went to question him and ask him, what most normal people would have done is said, no, this is my home. I have ID. I can show you. I can prove it to you. Let me just show you. No, he got mouthy. He got all kinds of irritated. He started being completely disrespectful to them just for trying to keep his house safe. And then it blew up into a huge media thing. And, of course, it was all about race at that point. Well, come to find out, they had no racial motives. There was nobody that could prove any sort of racial motives. The only thing they could find was that they saw somebody that they didn't know breaking into a house that they didn't know and wanted to investigate and just make sure there was not a crime being committed. It even went all the way up to Barack Obama. He made a big issue out of it, made himself look like a fool because he said that the police acted stupidly, to quote him, and come to find out they didn't. And there were many black officers on that police department who backed up the white officer who people were trying to hang for this. And then the whole thing just turned around and bit the progressive media and Barack Obama right in the butt. Anyway, moving on. I'll just basically cover, because we're getting a bit on time here. But Freddie Gray, Baltimore. He was a black man who was stopped by police in Baltimore. and was subsequently arrested. He was detained and arrested, all of which was fine. The fact that they came and arrested, detained, and were going